So I think it's time for the interview, right?
Wait a minute. What time is it?
Showtime!
What time is it?
Showtime! And now, with that said, we're bringing in the champ, the welterweight champion, the green belt champ, the one and only Shawn Porter.
I'm about to be turning to my rap name then. I'm young.
Hey, welcome to the show, Shawn.
I was gonna have him come back on and get on this mic in a minute anyway. So when it's time, it's time.
Right? Hey, Shawn, first of all, thank you, man. Thank you for being here.
Yeah.
I'm thanking your brother, Kenny. I'm thanking Anna for making it happen.
I got you. Yeah.
You know, he is the pro. I'm going to ask you that question, too, about that. But let me tell you this. What do you have to say? And I think you're not going to answer this question. That was my first question. What do you have to say to the haters, and I call them the haters or sometimes the media, that already made up their mind about who's going to win that fight that just got announced?
I'm okay with it.
You're okay with it?
Yeah, I'm okay with it because, Kenny already talked about where we're from and how we get down where we're from. You know, you had to defend yourself physically and verbally almost every day on the regular basis, whether that was just at home or at school, on the way to school, walking to the bus stop, at the park. It didn't matter where you were at. You always had to defend yourself verbally and physically, you know. So I'm already used to that. This kid my brother already knows that growing up. I mean, they call me a midget. They call me a leprechaun, you know what I mean? Because I'm shorter than my brothers, you know. So the adversity that I faced as a young kid, the doubts that I faced as a young kid is nothing new now. It's what I've already been through.
Okay, go ahead.
Now, I'm going to get into I read an article where Errol Spence Jr. says that you're underestimating him. That to me didn't make any sense whatsoever.
I think I said that about Errol. I honestly,
he said that about you too, though.
Did he?
Yeah.
Nah, we started training back in April for this
I
fight.
In great shape.
I came in here. You saw me in great shape. Yes, I am.
Hey, you saw me.
That's the first thing I said.
I mean, believe it or not, but we've been watching the scale since April. That way when September comes, we won't even have to look at the scale. It'll just be a matter of time before we have to get on the scale and make weight. You know,
so
we've been doing weightlifting since April. We've been running on the track since April, running on the street since April. We've been doing it all, hitting the bag, sparring, the whole nine.
Get out of here. Running on the street.
Yeah.
What time you guys run on the street?
When we get the long ones in, we get them in about 8 o'clock in the morning.
God damn, it's already like, I'm going to tell you guys something.
Yeah,
we're in Vegas.
About 100.
At that time, it was about 100 and something, man.
Yeah.
Are you guys running at that type of?
We do what's necessary.
Oh,
you know, we do what's necessary.
Now, are you doing anything different in your training camp for this fight?
For this one, I don't really think there's anything different. I think we've revved everything up, you know. So I'm already doing my swim workouts. You know what I mean? We're already trying to map out when we're gonna go to DC and do camp down in DC, get out of the city, and all that kind of stuff. So I think everything it's not a matter of what you do different, it's a matter of what level you do it at. Usually
when you go to, like you said, you want to go to DC, how many weeks ahead do you leave?
My dad's he'll figure it out. He'll figure it out. I think we're still about 9 weeks away from the fight. And not that there's no rush, but I think my dad he knows when it's time to go, and he knows when it's time to come back and all that good stuff.
And let me ask you this. And you heard what I said. I mean, I think you guys are a close unit. It's your pops, your brother, you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Does that help you a lot at the times?
100%. 100%. And so here's the thing. When you have a coach, when you have, a brotherhood in your camp, when you have even the sparring partners that you have, when those guys are close friends, almost like family, you have love and you have trust that's just built around you, and it's you take that energy to the ring with you. You know what I mean? So I wouldn't rather have it any other way.
Now there was the fight, they had announced it, and then it was never announced. So why did it take so long?
You know what? I think everybody's wondering why it took so long. My honest opinion, answer to that is I don't know. We signed way back when, actually when Fury fought Wilder is when we signed. Yeah, we signed the fight. That was December.
Yeah, it's been a while because I remember when I posted, you were
Wow.
saying, "No, you're wrong," and I was like,
Yeah.
"Please get made," because I'm gonna look bad.
No, that wasn't December. That fight wasn't December.
It wasn't December, right?
Nah.
Fury and Wilder was
Fury and
December.
Wilder?
Yeah, it had to
Was
be
it December?
Yeah, it had
Wow.
to be. It was the end of the year.
So we were talking about it.
We were probably talking
we
about it,
signed
but
right after his fight with Mikey Garcia. There had to be another big fight going on or something like that. Maybe not. But
Maybe it was Wilder versus who did he fight?
That was December 1st.
Yeah,
Fury.
Wilder Fury was December
Oh,
1st.
wow.
But Wilder fought who did he fight?
excuse me. Yeah, he fought Brazil.
Brazil.
So yeah,
It was a
So
it
we
was-
signed way back then.
Okay,
For
May.
this fight.
That was in
Excuse
May,
me.
yeah.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
signed
yeah.
way back then for
Okay,
this
okay.
fight. So but again, man, this is what I'm used to. I don't ask you why you're not signing to fight me. I don't ask you why you aren't quote unquote eager to fight me or just showing up to the media and saying we're gonna fight. That's not my job. My job is to map out the plan once the fight is announced, and go
and-
from there. Yeah.
Okay, but let me ask you. Okay, so I have a question. So even though you signed the contract, right? If they don't announce it, you don't start like working on it.
No, we remember we started way back in April.
I know that's what I'm saying. No.
So for any that, I'm sure that's how most guys. I'm sure that's how most guys work. But that's not how Team Porter works.
Oh, okay.
We have pre-camp, camp, and post-camp. So I am literally in camp year round. It just there's different levels to what we do, and we turn it on when we have to, and we turn it off when we have to.
Now, who called out who in this fight? How did this fight get made? Was
Dude,
it you guys reaching out to them? Was it him reaching out to you guys?
Nah. This was the collision course ready to happen.
It was gonna happen.
He fought Mikey and I fought Ugas, and who else would I fight after that? Who else would I fight after Ugas? And who else would he fight after Mikey Garcia?
You fought him all already.
Yeah,
So-
you fought them all.
Yeah, so
You fought them all.
Yeah, there's really, to me, there's not a matter. He would publicly say, "Well, I'm the one that wanted this fight. I'm the one that called out Shawn Porter, so on and so forth." It took time for the business to happen. The business has happened. So.
I have a question from the fans. They're asking, and it's a fan from Ohio. When are you guys gonna show up to the amateur fights in Ohio? They're asking.
I've done shout outs for the fights back home, especially the ones in Cleveland. I've made it to some professional fights when I've been able to get home, but really it's just a matter of the timing. When I do get home, it's usually for something big, Browns game.
Just because you guys are favorites to win the Super Bowl,
man.
bro, you got to throw it out there. We got the Raiders up in here, bro.
I get
We got
back
the Raiders
every
up in
year.
here.
I get back every year. This year, actually, Kenny and I, we went to the All-Star game this year. So we get back. It's just a matter of the timing, So whoever out there is asking when we're going to come to the amateur shows, I do the shout-outs, and I try to support y'all as much as I can. And I tell y'all, keep going. That's exactly where we started, and look where we're at now. As far as me physically being there, as soon as the timing is right, I'll be there.
Well, and I think you guys officially moved to Vegas, right? Or you guys?
I've officially been here since 2013.
Okay.
Kenny moved out about 2 months ago now, so he's been out here with me for about 2 months.
So how you like Vegas compared to Ohio?
Oh, come on, man. Don't do that.
I know.
There's no place like home,
Nowhere like Cleveland,
There's no place.
Are you
like home.
serious?
Yeah, there's no place like
This is
home.
Sin City, dude. Right here. Nah, I'm just messing with you. You get bored, dude, in Vegas.
Cleveland
Like,
is like a mix of everywhere I've been. So there's a little Cali there. There's a little Vegas there. There's a little uppity Colorado there. I shouldn't have did that.
I'm and I think I know where you got that from. Because a lot of people want to move to Cleveland. A lot of people.
Yeah.
I know that that's where
like to move to Cleveland.
that's where the comedian Dave Chappelle moved to. Dave said when he remember he said everybody thought he moved to South Africa or somewhere. He said no, I moved to Cleveland.
I
Or
think
no,
Dayton,
Dayton,
yeah.
and he said it was just because it was the right place for him to be at. So I'm gonna tell you something, dude. Like I love SoCal, and I've been to Colorado, bro. But one place that I would love to like get to see, and maybe like you guys are saying, you guys are telling me, it'll be like anywhere in Ohio, because I think that that's something that people like gravitate to, and I don't know why. but
Let
you
me
guys
know
do.
when you go, I got you covered.
Oh.
Everything you need, whatever you want.
Man! Like I said, man, I'm gonna take you guys to Mexico. You guys are taking me to Ohio. Bro.
I ain't been to Mexico yet. That's where.
Oh wow, we're going to Mexico, bro. Trust me, bro.
It's
trying to get me in trouble.
it's different.
Can I say that comment I made when we were off the air? I said this: Mexico needs to take Shawn over there because I think a lot of the Mexican fans will love you in Mexico because of your style.
Yeah.
Do you think the same? You feel the same?
What? When I really started bursting on the scene from a public standpoint, worldwide standpoint, everyone was saying Shawn Porter has a Mexican style. And the thing about it is, man, I'm just blessed. I do what needs to be done.
Right, you get it done.
And at the end of the day, it seems to be something that particularly Latinos out there really enjoy watching. So, man, I'm just blessed because this is a sport that's predominantly led by blacks and Latinos.
Right.
So for me to be able to appeal to that entire audience, for me, is just a blessing.
Let me ask you a question. Go ahead.
No, go.
It's not related to what we're talking about now.
Okay. No, I was gonna say what you have 33 fights. What has been the hardest thing? I know, bro. It's crazy.
Like just out of nowhere.
But you have like the best resume, bro. Like
Yeah.
you look at your last 15 fights, bro. You can just say your last 15, bro. They're like incredible. But what has been the hardest thing in the road for those 33 fights?
In the road.
Throughout, yeah.
Oh man, you
grind
busted
or
wide
whatever.
open with that, man. One thing this sport has taught me, one thing that my dad has not like directly taught me, but I just kind of learned from watching my dad and things like that. It's just the patience. This sport, when you deal with this sport, you have to have patience. You can't demand things. You can't push things and rush things because you might end up on the wrong side of it, So that's really the number one thing I've learned. Most people don't know this, but I sat out all of 2011. I didn't even fight one time in 2011 because I was going through a contract dispute with my former promoter. And so most people don't know that about my career because once I came back, it was almost like I was never gone because my dad did everything that was needed through my time off. That way, when I was right back on, it was like you had never left, So most people don't know that, but for me, I think I might have been 23, 24 years old. For me to have the patience at that point in time to not get a paycheck, to not go out and get a job, and say F this sport, because things weren't going the way I wanted them to go and needed them to go, and for my dad to just have the be led by the spirit to say, man, we gonna have to sit this out, we gonna have to ride this out. You just gotta trust me, So I mean, it's little things. This is what I've learned. The little things in boxing are the biggest
the ones that
things.
count.
Mm-hmm.
But I can tell things have been going well for you.
Things have been going extremely well for me. Things have been going extremely well for me.
No. But no. Okay, but think about it like this. Did you ever think Shawn Porter sat out a whole year? I could not. When you said that right now, I was like,
Golden Boy or Bob Barron?
No, it was neither. It was neither.
Okay.
No, I signed with the promoter down in the South when I first turned pro, and we got to a point where we were on the fast track, and my dad was like, "Hey, we're ready to move on from ESPN, and we want to start doing Showtime, so on and so forth." And again, I think it was a necessary demand. It was a demand that made sense.
Well, it was time.
In that point in time, it wasn't doable for those promoters. So, yeah.
Now, what did you think about the Keith Thurman Manny Pacquiao fight? I know that you picked Manny Pacquiao.
Great fight, man.
Why did you pick Manny Pacquiao though?
Well, see here, I picked Manny because I do this for a living, and having done everything that I've done, been everywhere that I've been. Remember, I told you guys that I took a year off, but in that year off, I did everything that was needed and necessary so that when I came back, it would be almost like I never left. And I just knew that Keith, going through the things that he's gone through in the last year and a half to 2 years, and being out of the ring as long as he had been, I just knew that he couldn't get the fire lit high enough to beat someone like Manny Pacquiao.
And you have sparred Manny before, right?
Yeah, I had sparred Manny, and so I knew that there were things that Keith could do to win this fight. I mean, we saw in the later rounds he was aggressive, and then he started to kind of move back and do Keith. Right. And once he was able to do Keith, he was successful. But it was more so because Manny allowed him to be Keith.
Okay, and I want to ask you. I'm gonna hit on that, but I have Virgil Ortiz Sr., Virgil's dad, saying he bumped into you earlier this year at Staples Center. And he said that you were taking pictures with everybody, that you were saying hi to everybody. You're the coolest, one of the coolest dudes he's met.
I can't afford not to, man. And I mean, there's so much you can say about the fans, but I mean, let's start with the fact that y'all pay our bills. You know what I mean? let's start there. But my main thing when it comes to the fans is you guys see us on TV all the time. They see us on the computer all the time. They see us on social media, on their phones all the time. When you have a moment and an opportunity to shake my hand, I understand how special that moment is for you. Right. So usually I give as much time as I can.
Okay. And I'm gonna tell you this. We're getting back to the Manny Pacquiao Thurman fight. I said, and this is why I think this is the best. I already know what he's gonna do after he retires, guys. Okay. I said I thought Manny Pacquiao had him, but he's lost that killer instinct and didn't finish him up.
Yeah.
Let the fans know what you told me, man.
So here's the thing. It's not that Manny Pacquiao does not have the killer instinct. And I equated it to a car.
Right.
You have a car when you first get a brand new car, there's nothing wrong with that car.
Right.
That car is moving. Every time you push that gas, boom, it goes. Every time you hit the gear, it goes. It's going to do everything you wanted to do when you need it to do. Mm-hmm. But as time ticks, as the clock ticks, as those years turn, some of that just ain't clicking the way it used to.
You can press that, it's not going.
Hold up though. Like training, you do things that are necessary to get that car back moving in the kind of shape that you wanted to move in.
Right.
You get the oil change.
He needs Viagra right now.
You have an excellent camp. You do things to keep that car moving the way that you want it to move. But there will come a time when that car won't move the way you want it to every time you push the gas. So a lot like Manny Pacquiao, Manny can go 100 miles an hour, but how long can he sustain that 100 mile an hour pace?
Now let me ask you a question. Did you see, like, in my opinion, people were saying, "Oh, he's back on the peds," but I did see a slower Pacquiao. Did you see the same?
I've seen a slower Pacquiao for a number of years.
It's been a while.
However, he was very consistent in this fight with Keith Thurman. He made the right movements and he did the right things. And I do think that the times that that Keith was successful were times where Manny kind of pulled off of the gas and allowed him to hit him and things like that. Mm-hmm. Excuse me, but all in all, it's just nature. You're not gonna have 2010 Manny in the ring anymore. It is what it is.
How does Manny Pacquiao do against Shawn Porter?
I firmly believe that the fight with myself and Manny Pacquiao is not like a fight with Keith Thurman. I think that I have a lot in the tank. I think that I've been in the ring getting the rounds in. I've done everything that's needed to keep my fire lit. The passion's there, the motivation is there. Everything is needed for me to beat a guy like Manny Pacquiao. And I think on top of all of that, also understanding Manny, also understanding what he brings to the ring. I've been in the ring with him. I've watched him for years, you know what I mean? So I think I have a really higher understanding than most guys would have, I said this, Marquez knocked out Manny Pacquiao.
I have both signatures right there.
But how many times did they fight,
4 times.
4 times. It was a matter of time before that happened, So in a lot of ways, I've been in the ring and gotten those rounds in without having to, you got to study them and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, so I've been in the ring and I know what it feels like to be in the ring with Manny.
Let me ask you a question. What do you think, talking about a knockout like Manny Pacquiao? Boxing has lost 2 fighters in the last month.
That's what I was going there.
I heard a boxer saying that it's probably because some of these boxers they're killing themselves to make weight. They're dehydrated. Do you think that's the case?
100%. That's 100% a case.
Wow.
That is not the case.
That's the case.
But
that's a major part.
You hear him? I said that's not the case. I said that's not the case. He said that's the case.
No.
Yeah.
That's not the case.
He's not a professional.
So even the guys that don't, unfortunately, pass away in the ring, but you see they have to go to the hospital and get rehydrated and get IVs and things of that nature. Guys are not understanding. We're getting better, but we're not understanding the nutrition that's necessary for this sport. We're getting better at it. I don't know what the cause was of this guy,
right?
Who the last two,
last
couple weeks now
Wow.
that have lost their lives, but. The fact of the matter is, and coincidentally, I just went to Cleveland Clinic here in Las Vegas. We've been doing combat sports. They do a neurological exam on us, a yearly annual neurological exam, and they're just really trying to figure out what's going on. Okay. They're trying to prevent those deaths in the ring. They're trying to prevent guys from suffering from dementia, suffering from slurred speech and loss of memory and vision and things of that nature. So they're trying to figure out what it is. And through 4 years, they said that they still don't know exactly what it is. But they are working diligently to make sure that we're safe in the ring and not losing our lives.
In the past, I've heard Dana White from the UFC said something because it's the hand wraps and the gloves in boxing compared to the gloves that they wear.
It really at this point it's all speculation.
Right.
It's unfortunate, but I don't know how long this sport has been around, but through the history of this sport, there's just speculation. You don't know what it is. They recently started doing taking our blood, and now they're studying the DNA. I personally feel that the DNA has a lot to do. Has a strong, we'll get a strong understanding from what the DNA shows.
Right.
I think that some guys, our bodies are built to suffer more impact and punishment than others, and I think that you just don't know. But you just don't know. Myself, I'm proud to say that through the 4 years, everything has been consistent, and nothing has declined for me. And I think that it's necessary for all these guys to start doing these neurological exams just to make sure that they're okay. If by chance. Now hear me out. If by chance I went and I did this exam and something came back,
and I was going there.
Irregular.
You read my mind.
And I called and had a conversation with my dad, and we met up and we said, "Hey man, this isn't looking good. This looks very unsafe. I know we got a big one ahead of us. What do you think?" If him and I decided that for my life I shouldn't take on this fight, then for my life, I wouldn't take on this fight, and everyone out there would have to understand that we just saw 2 deaths in like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
It's really that serious. So at the end of the day, there are a lot of guys that don't do the exams because they are afraid of what it will tell them. They are afraid of being told that you can't live out your dreams.
Right.
However, is your dream bigger than your life?
Right.
At the end of the day, it's really not.
Man, I want to shake your hand, bro, because you said the right thing right now, bro. Hey, dude, I was going to that question because I was going to say, how do you deal with that?
Yeah.
But you just said the right answer, man.
Easy. And here's my disclaimer. Easier said than done. Because in a lot of ways, yes, I have lived my dreams.
Right.
In a lot of ways, I've done a lot in this sport. And, in a lot of ways, I'm closer to being done than I am closer to getting started. So it really is a double-edged sword when I tell a young guy who's about to turn pro, like, hey, man, go get this exam. And the exam comes back and shows them irregularities. And I got to say, hey, man, I think you shouldn't do this.
You shouldn't do this.
It's heartbreaking, but at the same time, your family wants you to be there. Your friends want you to be there.
But you're also being honest to them, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it was just weird because...
And that's the big thing with when they say, who should stop the fight? Should the fighter stop the fight? Should the referee stop the fight? Should the coach in the corner stop the fight? I honestly believe that it's first the coach's job to stop the fight. the coach knows what he's saying out of his fighter. He should know his fighter well enough to know that something's not right. Let me pull the plug. We'll come back another day. You know.
Right.
After that becomes the fighter's responsibility to be honest with himself, and then after that, it's got to be the refs and the doctor and so on.
What do you think about the stoppage with Buddy McGirt? I honestly think he's getting too much heat.
I didn't see the fight, you know, and he stopped the fight, and from what I'm understanding, he stopped the fight around or two too late, and that's what I meant by, you know, you have to know your fighter. I even understand that the fighter's telling him, no, I can continue, you know, so it's really is hard because boxing is one of those sports where you're one punch away, you know what I mean? Wow. You're one punch away from capturing greatness, you know, and so it's a thin line.
Everybody's saying, you know, this is the only sport you can't play, man.
It's very true.
You know
It's very true.
Okay, I have a question from Arturo. Don't forget, guys, please share, man. This is, like I said, we'll do this show every Monday for you guys, so make sure you guys let all the family know who we got on, okay? Arturo Quesada says, after Spence, who would you fight next? Would you fight a rematch with Thurman? Man, dude, you trying to steal my question.
I think, I don't think. I know that after I beat Errol Spence, I'm going to be looking to fight Manny Pacquiao.
Ow!
I think that makes sense. Right now we're about to unify 2 titles, and I'm looking forward to that. And then I'm looking forward to becoming the undisputed champion. You know, obviously you guys brought up Terence earlier. Terence wants to get in the mix. Yeah. He deserves to get in the mix.
He deserves it.
I'll campaign for Terence Crawford to fight any welterweight in the world outside of myself. And you know, him and I have had conversations in the past, and we know how we feel about each other and fighting each other. He had the great fight against Jose Benavidez.
Yeah.
And I watched the fight, man, and after it was over, and now this, you know, we've had conversations numerous times, like, you know, if we decide to fight, it's going to be because you and I decide to fight. Media's not going to tell us to fight. Bob's not going to tell us to fight. My dad's not going to tell us to fight. This is going to be something that we decide to do.
You guys have that friendship.
Yeah. And so after that fight, with Jose Benavidez, I was like, oh my God, I might have to fight this dude. He looked that great. Yeah. He has always looked great every fight. So I saw him, right? I said, hey man, after your fight with Jose, man, I'm starting to feel it, man. He said, man, calm down, man. We'll see what's happening. But I know he has some other guys in the welterweight division he'd rather fight other than me. Again, he deserves to fight everybody in the welterweight division. If it comes time for him and I to fight, we'll duke it out, but it'll only be under our terms.
Your terms.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, speaking about Errol Spence, what did you think about the fight with Mikey Garcia? I know that Errol Spence says that he wasn't trying to knock him out, but he did throw over 1,000 punches.
He said he wasn't trying to knock him out.
Yeah, he said he wasn't, but you threw over 1,000 punches.
You were trying to knock him out. Here is my problem with Errol Spence. You can't say one thing publicly and then say something else publicly. That you are you're contradicting yourself.
You're contradicting yourself in public.
And you in a lot of ways you really don't know your identity if you continue to contradict yourself like that publicly. So you can't get in the ring after I fight Danny Garcia and say, I would love to fight Shawn Porter. I love you. I love your dad, but I'm ready to fight. And I say, all right, this is the easiest fight to be made in boxing.
Right, because you guys have same promoter, everything.
Yeah, you go on and you fight Mikey Garcia, meanwhile saying, I wanted to fight Shawn Porter, but he didn't want to fight me. Yeah. Well, I'm the one in the ring that said this is the easiest fight to be made in boxing. Let's make it.
Yeah.
You know that there was some business being done that directed you a different way.
Right. Yeah.
So don't publicly say you want to fight me, then go a different way and say while you're over there, say, well, you know, I'm over here, but I'd rather fight Shawn Porter, but he didn't want to fight me, so I'm fighting Mikey Garcia. Yeah. That was a big fight for you. That was a big opportunity for you. Big pay-per-view fight for you. Go ahead and accept that and do that.
Do that.
Stop knocking me and what I'm doing, and when it's time, we'll make it happen.
Yeah.
Now we're back, and it's time to make it happen. Meanwhile, only thing you saying is, well, I wanted to fight. He didn't want to fight. I wanted to fight. He didn't want to fight. It don't matter. The fight's being done.
Yeah.
So he
Whoever
said
wanted
that
it.
he wasn't trying to knock out Mikey Garcia.
He was trying to box him.
He said that verbatim. He wasn't trying to knock out Mikey
That he
Garcia.
was trying to give him a boxing lesson.
But
Not
then he
finish him.
comes on my show, Inside PBC Boxing, which airs on FS1, if you guys don't know.
Okay.
Comes on that show, and I asked him, were you disappointed you didn't knock out Mikey Garcia? And he said, yeah, man, I was disappointed. I really wanted to knock out Mikey Garcia.
So it's a contradiction.
Do you feel that he should have knocked him out? Because of the jumping weight class, smaller guy.
Listen, Mikey is who he is.
Yeah, but how do you know Mikey was hurt like
Mikey
that?
is who he is.
Right,
Mikey
what I'm
was
saying.
not. You were gonna have to drag Mikey out of the ring.
Yeah, I don't think he was gonna be able to knock him out, bro. Yeah, no.
You know what I mean? So let's
They
first off
almost
let's
stopped
say
the
that
fight. They almost
it doesn't
stopped.
matter that he was
well,
coming
you're
up
saying
from-
knock him out. Well, TKO.
To me, a TKO not.
It doesn't matter that he was a champion at 35, a champion at
A champ is a
140.
champ.
Yeah,
A champ
when you're
is
a
a
champion, you know how to behave. You
Right.
know how to be a champion, even if you don't win the fight. Even and outside of that, I think that Errol was doing what he needed to do to win the fight.
Yes.
I didn't really see big opportunities for him to knock out Mikey.
That's what I'm saying. I didn't either.
But possibly if he had kept his foot on the gas a little bit more at the end. But, I'm scouting you, my guy. So when I see that in the 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th rounds that you aren't used to going, you don't really have that same speed. Your car ain't moving the same. I'll go back to that analogy. Your car ain't moving the way that it was moving early on in the ring. Now I know that that's something that I can use to my advantage in the fight.
Now, although Spence basically shut him out, what would you have done different in that fight at Mikey Garcia that you think you could have done better to stop him? Or
Mikey stopped being Mikey.
Yeah.
Simple as that. And I know from being a competitor in this sport, and it's an unfortunate reality. You have those moments when you say, if I could get one more chance.
Right.
That one more chance isn't going to come to him, at least not immediately. Right. But I know Mikey knows that if he had another chance, there's a lot of things he could have
done differently.
Yeah. I'm sure he would have used his jab more.
Right.
I'm sure he would have been more aggressive. I'm sure he would have had more confidence in himself. I think
More smothering. He would have smothered more.
That was the number one thing lacking in that fight is his confidence.
It must have been like that hard jab that Errol threw, like the first 3 rounds that I kicked to my base.
Yeah.
So it made him question.
Yeah, and I think that too. I think I think that when he was touched, I think that maybe some reminders were given to him through that jab,
right.
And I think that he wanted to stay away from that jab.
Stay away.
But that's the art of boxing. That's what turns
Sweet
boxing.
science.
That's what turns boxing from being a vicious sport to being a sweet science. When you have one guy that will take away what you do well and basically make you vulnerable and make you doubt yourself and win the fight with a landslide victory.
Is Errol Spence really is he really that hard of a
I'm about to prove it. I'm about to show that he's not.
I think your style is the style you need to beat him.
Yeah,
is to get
I think
on him.
that
Don't show him
and
respect.
I think that even in some recent fights of mine, Danny Garcia, Dennis Ugas, and even Adrian Granados, you saw more boxing, more movement, more ring generalship, opposed to just the aggressive attack that I had against Adrian Bronner, Andre Berto. You're gonna see a lot more boxing, but I think that it will present some problems once you start to make adjustments and bring that sweet science into fruition.
You're bringing Ugas up. Ugas kept on claiming that he beat you.
Yeah.
How do you feel when he says that?
You know what? I think that he went back and took a look at that fight,
and he realized.
And I think he realized that even though I thought I did a good job, I don't think I see where the judges could have given Shawn Porter. Fight. I think that this is a fight. I think he would love to fight me again. I think that Cubans are really they're really competitive guys. They don't like being outdone, outmatched, and I think that if given another opportunity, he's another guy that would do things differently. But I would come differently.
Okay, so let me ask you this: you guys live in Vegas. I know he trains out here too.
Yeah.
You guys ever bump into each other?
I never see him just daily.
Okay.
I never see him daily. My lady was out with our baby, and she ran into your dentist, and they exchanged some friendly words.
Friendly words.
Yeah, some friendly words.
Okay.
No. Listen, so here's the thing. For a long time I had been seeing Ugas around at the big fights and things like that, and so I knew he was my weight, but I really wasn't that familiar with him. But he showed me a lot of respect, so I showed him a lot of respect. And
Right.
I mean, now you look up, and we fought back in March, and I mean, the respect that we have for one another is even larger than it was a year or two ago
Right.
when we were seeing each other around, So I think if that fight were to happen again, would be a really good fight.
You saw him? Oh, you saw him too, man. Did he say anything to you?
Nah, he wouldn't recognize me unless he thought I looked like Shawn.
Oh, all right.
What did you think about his performance against Omar Figueroa?
You know what? Here's the thing.
He did better.
Ugas looked great for 4 rounds. You think he's gonna get Omar Figueroa out of there, and then somehow Omar seems to he survived this early storm, and then Ugas, even though he wasn't completely coasting, he was still aggressive and things like that. He just couldn't close the show, And so I think that's one knock against him right now is that he
doesn't close the.
He's got to close the show. When I watched him, he fought the co-main when I fought Danny Garcia, and I was in the back room, and I was just like, the first 2 rounds, I'm like, all right, cool. This is an early night. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
And then I look up, and it's like 9, 10, and now I'm like disappointed. And I'm mad that you made me wait to get in the ring. So he's got to close the show, but not against me, man.
All right, let me ask you something. He don't know how to do the showtime. You know how to do the showtime, man.
It's showtime.
It's showtime.
Yeah.
All right. What fighter has influenced your career, man, or influenced you?
Marvin Hagler. Marvin Hagler is the one. So, man, listen, man, it's just crazy. So, the first time I saw Marvin Hagler was out here at I think it was a WBC convention. May have been the Nevada Boxing Hall of Fame night. And I followed this man around the room.
Right.
And I wanted to talk to him, but he had a lot of fans that were, and I'm like, I can talk to him anytime. I let them. When I had my moment, man, I just shook his hand. I told him, I said, you don't know how much you inspired me and how much you are who I've tried to be this far as in being a professional boxer. And he just said thank you, and he says that he says you're a good fighter, keep going. And fast forward, I see him at another event, and I said, hey Marvin, I'm Shawn Porter, I don't know if you remember me. He said, yeah, I remember you, man, you're one of my favorite fighters right now. And I'm like, shut up. He said no, you're one of my favorite fighters. And he had named a few other fighters that he had really liked watching, and right there was when it clicked, like once these guys go away, they love this sport, they're gonna have to watch someone else. So I'm just really humbled that right now I'm at a point in my career where all the old heads, all the legends, they watch me and a lot of these other guys, and they really do admire us and what we do. So check it out, and I'll end it here. But I go to the Canastota, the Boxing Hall of Fame, the big Boxing Hall of Fame, and I see him out there, and we hung out a couple times, but I'm just watching the move. Yeah. I'm watching the way he interacts with the fans. I'm watching his personality. And
you're absorbing.
I'm not only am I absorbing it, I'm obviously admiring it. Yeah. But I said, wow. I said, the man that I picked when I was 10, 11 years old and said, this is who I want to be like, this is who I want to fight like. I'm like, not only did I inspire to be like him outside the ring, but we are a lot alike outside of the ring. And I'm like, that's just crazy that I picked this guy that long ago. And for me to see this man, and for me to have wanted to be this man, and see him doing the same things that I do outside of the ring, giving all of the fans all of this time in the day, just like I do. I'm like, man, I really picked a great guy right there to admire.
Sean Brendan says,
go to sleep.
Yeah.
Go to sleep.
He's like, haha, Sean's my boy, my man, I got you. He's wanting to give him up a shout out, bro. You know what I mean?
I'm beating you this year in fantasy.
I
know I'm going 0-2 against you at like every season, but this is my year.
Kenny brought it up a little earlier. We were gonna say, out of your 2 defeats, it was Thurman and Kell Brooks.
Yeah.
I'm gonna quiz both of the brothers. Which one's the one that you want to redo?
Thurman.
I think right now it would be Thurman. Yeah. But here's the thing. With Thurman, I think back then, 2016, if we had rematched right away, there were subtle things that I would have done differently. In a rematch with Kell Brook, we fought in 2014. Right. If we had fought again a year later, that same year, completely different fight. So I was coming off of my fight with Paulie Malignaggi, 5th round knockout, and I was like just on top of the world. I thought I was strong, and all it took was one punch. And in this fight with Kell Brook for 12 rounds, I thought all I needed to do was touch you. I was too aggressive, too one-sided. Fought one way, never made any adjustments. Right. And even though, my aggressive attack and I hit him and so on and so forth, you could argue who won the fight. I say he had his hand raised, so he won the fight. Right. But
you never
never disputed it. But in a rematch, it would be a completely different fight, and you would know who won the fight. Yeah.
Now, Shawn, and who are your top 3 welterweights
right now?
Currently, yeah.
Shawn Porter, Errol Spence. And it's tied between Manny Pacquiao and Terence Crawford. Yeah.
At least you mentioned it because he complained about that.
No, that's my boy.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, that's my boy.
He said that.
And let me I don't plug him because he's my boy. I plug him because game recognized game. Exactly. And I recognize that the dude has the skills. He has all of the talent. He has everything that it takes. It's a matter of him getting the right fights. Yeah, it's just a matter of him getting the right fights. How much time we got left?
We have a bunch, bro. We could go forever, man. Why?
How much time we got left? No, y'all ain't gonna keep me here all night.
No, we're not gonna keep you all night.
30 minutes.
30 more?
Whatever you want.
This an hour show, right?
Yeah, bro.
Okay, we good then. I'm like, hold on, it's 8:30. Yeah. All right, then we good. We good.
Yeah. I just want to do this. I want to name.
We all the way good. I got something at the end that I want to.
Okay.
I want to bless everybody with.
Yeah, we want to.
So if you could give me like 10 minutes, give me that 10-minute clock.
For sure.
Yeah. Let me do this. Since he's your boy, and like you said, he needs the good fights. Do you agree with him that those fights could be made?
You know what? I do.
You do?
I agree that the fights can be made. However, like you called him Uncle Bob, I think that Uncle Bob is and I think there's gonna be some stubbornness.
Yes.
On all fronts. I'm not gonna put it just on Uncle Bob.
They'll be both.
But there's gonna be some stubbornness all the way around. Yeah. So it's just gonna take some time. But for the greatness of boxing, fights need to be made with Terence Crawford.
Okay. I like that attitude. Okay. I was going to hit to this, but you hit on it when you talked about the rematches, so I'm not even going to hit about the IBF and the WBC.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because I was going to say, what would you have done differently, when
you
won your first title compared to winning the WBC?
You know what? So after I lost the IBF, it was just a matter of how you get back to becoming a world champion. That was in 2014. I was blessed that same year to go to a WBC convention, and I completely fell in love with the WBC. Yeah. In 2014, I made it my goal to become a WBC champion, and I didn't know what path to take and who to fight, so on and so forth. But I started slowly seeing it happen, and it got to a point. It got to a point where Keith Thurman fought Danny Garcia. And during that fight, I said, man, I just want that belt. It doesn't matter who wins this fight. I just want the belt. And my lady said, she said, well, if you want it, go get it. I said, it's not that easy. I said, I got to deal with it all. I got to, I don't know the politics and I don't know who's going to have to fight who. I said, this guy's got to fight this guy. Then I got to fight this guy. Drew out this big old long map. Yeah. And she said to me, she said, she doesn't understand, but her ignorance blessed me.
Exactly, because
through her ignorance of not understanding the business of boxing, through her ignorance of not understanding boxing, she said,
"Go get it."
So what? Yeah, she said. She said, "So what? If that's your goal, if that's what you want, go get it." And I swear, when she said that to me, it kind of like it filled me up, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna just figure it out. I'm gonna go get it, And so when I got a hold of that WBC, man, it's second to having my son. It really is.
Wow. Is it?
Yeah. I
agree.
She called me. I was actually in England when Errol Spence went over there to fight Kell Brook. She called me and she says, we're pregnant, and I was like, no shit. Like I said like, no shit. And she was like, yeah. And so, like, I just remember hanging up the phone and, like, just being overwhelmed with, like, joy and, like, with, like disbelief. Right. And so when I made this belt my goal, you weren't gonna stop me from having this belt, right? So, I mean, I'm in the ring before they make the decision, and I think it was a unanimous decision, and I just remember thinking like, there's no way they took this from me. And so when they called my name, it was just joy and disbelief.
Right.
They wanted me to present my dad with the coach's belt,
Right.
And they gave me my belt first, and I was like, no way. Oh my God, I cannot believe this. And my dad's like, Shawn, give me the belt. Shawn, give me the belt. And I just remember thinking like, oh my God, like I can't believe this, So
I hear
for me to now be going back for that IBF, it's like, my pastor is Randall Cunningham. He's gonna be a Hall of Fame, former NFL quarterback.
Right here?
He'll be he's right here. Yep,
Damn.
he'll be in the Hall of Fame soon. But
So now I know why he's gonna win the next fantasy football.
I could be wrong.
He gets him. I think he is already.
Yeah.
He is. Right? I
Yeah,
thought he was already.
here's the thing, and I told this to Ken. I told this to Ken. I said when I talk to him, I say he doesn't want to talk about football. I said, can he act like he ain't never played a down in the NFL?
Yeah.
And he said, well, that just don't matter to me, So I feel like he has the golden jacket, but I feel like it might be like in a like
storage.
It's like that's not even. I really don't think he has his golden jacket in his house.
Okay.
I could be wrong. I'm gonna ask him, and I'll let y'all know. But I don't think he has the golden belt in his house. But I was talking to him one day after I had won the WBC, and he says, hey man, he says, you know what your goal should be now? I said, what's that? He said, don't lose. He says, your goal from this point on should be just to win. He said, all you have to do is win. Just win and give God all the glory.
Man, when you hear that, what goes through your body, bro?
Because
it went through me right now, man.
I'm glad it went through you, because that's how it is between me and Pastor Randall. It's like he's almost like my dad in the sense that I hang on to his every word. I really do believe the things that come out of his mouth, and I want to, a lot like my dad, I want to make him proud, And so when he said to me, he made it so simple. He said, man, all you got to do is win. He said, just keep winning.
Yeah.
He said, you're a winner. You know how to win. He says, all you have to do is keep winning. And after he said that to me, I'm like, check mark. That's the new goal. So whenever people ask me what's your goal now, you won the IBF, you won the WBC, you're a 2-time world champion, what's next? Most people would say, well, you unify, and then after that you become undisputed, and my answer is, I just want to win. From here on, I just want to win.
Woo! Well, I got.
I hear a lot.
You got me, dude.
I hear a lot of boxers say the same thing you do. They want the WBC belt. Why do you think that is? Why do you think they want the WBC belt?
Why do they fall in love with it?
Yeah,
I think that's the question.
As a
Muhammad
boxer,
Ali had that belt, man. Muhammad Ali was the first to have that belt. For me, I got a really good in-depth look of what the WBC is about. So I actually got to meet Mr. Suleiman before he passed away. I become really close with his son. Well, actually, both of his sons. They both work for the WBC. Obviously, Mauricio is the president, and Pepe is he works behind the scenes. Yeah. But I've just become a part of the family, and that's the thing with the WBC. They really do. They treat you like family, So I'm really, really humbled to be a part of the WBC family.
I wanted to get a little bit off track from boxing, because Shawn was not just a boxer, man. This guy was a football player.
Yeah.
And I mean, but what was the telling point, bro? What's it? Because you have a decorated amateur career too. Have you seen his amateur career?
Yeah, most people don't know that. Yeah.
Oh my God!
So,
no. Pan Am and maybe Olympics.
How you know?
I research. I got research credit. I thought it was a wrong.
Kenny and I both.
He's been stalking you.
We did a lot as amateurs. We started in Cleveland, Ohio, 8 and 9 years old, and we have come an extreme long way. I remember being in high school football. It might have been my 4th or 5th game, and they came over the announcement speaker, and they said, we just want to announce that our high school alumni, Kenny Porter, has just won the world championship title in Sweden. Kenny went to Sweden, and he represented the U.S. in Sweden. I think he was 17.
I didn't know you heard that announcement.
Yeah, 17. I remember being like on the sideline thinking like, oh wow. All right, what play is it? You know, I remember like, all right, yeah, you did your thing. Like, let me go do my thing. You know, so
it's all right,
we both have done a lot as amateurs. We both have gone abroad to fight. We both love football. Kenny knows when he turns on the TV, it's the first thing on is NFL Network because that's where I hang out at. But for me, here was my thing. I played for 2 high schools, and both high schools were right around that 500 mark. You know, 5 and 5 seasons, 4 and 6 seasons, and it just was bad for me. I was really good, and my whole goal in high school was just I wanted to play in one playoff game, you know. And so when I was graduating high school, I had all these letters from all around the country, but the few schools that I went to visit, they weren't offering me a scholarship. They wanted me to walk on. They wanted to use me on special teams and then plug me in where I fit in.
Right.
And my whole thing was we ain't got no money for college, you know. And that was kind of as far as I went. I didn't look into any type of funds, foundations, anything like that.
Yeah.
I just went to my dad. I said, I want to be a professional fighter. He said, what? You don't want to go to school and play? And you don't want to go to school and play college football? I said, man, listen. I said, I just played on these 2 half and half school teams. And I said, here's the thing. In boxing, there's just me. I don't have to rely on.
You don't have to depend on anybody else.
I don't have to rely on 10 other guys to do their job. I don't have to wonder if those 10 other guys are giving it what I give it.
Right.
I said in boxing, it's one-on-one. We never have to wonder about me. He said, yeah, you're right. And my dad said, well, why don't you go for the Olympic team? I think you can make the Olympic team. I said, listen. I said, nah, man. Listen, I'm ready to make some money, man.
Oh.
He said, no. He said, I want you to go for the Olympic team. I think you can make the Olympic team. Why don't you? Let's go for the Olympics. And that's what we did, man. And I was an alternate. Got to go to Beijing, and then after that, I turned pro, and the rest is history, man.
And you started your career at 154, I think.
I started my career at 154. I fought in the amateurs. I finished up at 165. Just carrying a lot of football and weight from.
There's a big name that you beat in the amateurs. Was it Kovalev or?
There's a lot. So
guy,
the one you're thinking of is Alexander Usyk.
You beat Usyk in the amateurs.
Yeah.
Dang! That one I didn't hear.
No. He was a little shorter. Back then, I think he was right around 6 foot.
Okay.
Still 6 foot.
And he was lighter. He was 165. But man, it was a great fight. Believe it or not, it was a duel that we did in Chicago. It was USA versus the Ukraine. He came over here with 10 of his comrades and myself, and on that team was Keith Thurman.
Okay.
And 8 other guys, or 9 other guys. I don't remember who the other guys were right off the top, but Keith and I were the only 2 to win from the U.S. So we did our thing. We did our thing. And I beat Alexander Usyk, man. I never he ended up staying amateur until the 12 games, right?
Yeah, later. Like a lot of the Ukrainians, they turned pro later.
Yeah, it was the 12 games, right? Or did he turn pro after the 16 games?
I don't know exactly.
I'm pretty sure it was the 12 game. I think he turned pro after the 12 games.
So.
And then
because he was in the last one.
You look up and he's like about to be a heavyweight champion now soon. So
how important?
Dude.
That's my dude.
Hey, Will says football's lame anyways, bro. You made the right decision.
I love football, man.
How valuable was that international competition? Because I know
very valuable. Very valuable. Valuable because when you talk about experience, it's not just about how many fights you have. It also means who you fought against and how they were when you fought them. If you talk about myself and Errol Spence, I think a big separation with us is our experience. I had a lot of experience as an amateur that got me ready for a lot of different styles as a professional. A lot of guys aren't ready for his southpaw stance and what he can bring from the southpaw level. But if you take a look at Alexander Usyk, he's a southpaw, 6 foot. Back in the day when we fought, and back then it was all about how many punches you threw and how many times you hit the guy. You know what I mean? So not only did I have to be very professional in that fight, but I also had to be very amateur in that fight and keep up with the hand speed and box. You know, it wasn't about being who was the most aggressive. You know, so you know, when you move forward, you know, that's one of the biggest things is, you know, separates a lot of the champions from the guys that don't make it is your experience.
Speaking of the southpaw thing, because I think Omar Figueroa, which is a southpaw, beat Spence. Now that we're on the subject of amateurs.
Nah, man, I don't even want to talk about it.
Did he beat Spence in amateurs?
Yeah, he beat Spence in the amateurs, and I just did an interview with Errol recently, and he said, man, he said he gonna hang that over my head forever.
Yeah.
And I was looking at him like, no matter what happens in this sport, like he's gonna always say that.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, you guys are not gonna fight as professionals because you're here and he's here.
Yeah.
And
So it's not gonna happen.
That's just never gonna happen. So that's, you know, it's a funny that's a funny statistic right there.
But
I got two compliments right now. Oh, go ahead.
Do you feel that the southpaw stance can complicate things for Errol?
Not for me. Not for me. I
Not
think
for
that not for Errol.
Not for
I
Errol.
think Errol, it works to Errol's advantage because you know he has what he does.
Yeah.
You know he knows how to fight against the orthodox fighters. You know, there's
But
more
I'm
of those to go around. You know,
But
there's-
if he fights a southpaw himself,
Oh, do I think that would give him problems?
Yeah.
I think the fight would I think the makeup of the fight would be different. I think that he has a different offensive attack. I think that he may very well be more comfortable fighting a southpaw. You know, so
we never know.
yeah, you never know.
Carol McKenna from Australia says, all real champions have to have faith, man.
Yeah,
She said that.
100%. I go to schools all the time, and I tell these kids, man, that here's my formula for success: faith plus hard work plus dedication plus focus equals success. Without those four things, you will not succeed. You have to have faith in God. You have to have faith in yourself.
Yes.
That God is giving you everything that you need, whether that's punching some keys on a computer, being a surgeon and keeping your hands still. You have to have faith that you learned everything you need to learn, and that God's gonna bring you through and get this job done. You know, you have to have focus. Whatever you do, dedication, man. This dedication is like one of the biggest things in boxing. I told you guys, I sat out for a whole year, but my dad made sure I stayed dedicated to
And
boxing.
you were working that whole
and
year.
I was working that whole year.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And so, and then the hard work goes without saying. You know, some people just don't know though.
I have a good one too. Ruben Cuellar out of Wildcard.
Yeah.
He says, Sean, how would Sean do against Sugar Ray Leonard in prime?
You know what, man?
What happened earlier?
That's a boxing guy.
I asked him earlier.
We'll ask y'all. Do you think that we'll say, and you let me know when my verbiage is wrong. Do you think the average American knows about Sugar Ray Leonard?
I said
Maybe
people
the
who
name,
watch
but not-
boxing, point blank and simple, know about Sugar. About no, see, he said average American. He said
In closing, there was a miscommunication there because
Well,
even though I didn't communicate,
I let him know that we were watching a football show, and there was a reason why these football players were having older athletes on there. Right. And that's what I was telling him, because he said if he was going to do his own show, the first thing he would do was have him and Keith Thurman on. And I said the very first thing you should do if you're paying attention to how this show's going is you should put Sugar Ray Leonard on, because people still know who he is. It would make sense why Thurman could be on the show with him, but Thurman should interview somebody like Hagler. You see what I'm saying? Because that's the recipe that they were promoting on this show. So I understand where the miscommunication came in, but I was letting him know the marketing scheme behind this is a whole other thing. Giving back, there's nothing
However, football is different from boxing.
Right.
So you have a lot of legends in football, and their name just flat out carries on, and it's just not the same with boxing.
They was gonna still know who Jerry Rice was though, just by looking at the guy. Maybe if you saw a jersey with the 80 on it, you'd be like, but just looking at it, hey, I already know about these. Still kept the 80 for y'all. Yeah, man.
But on that one, I mean,
I think they
Would
know
you
the
be able to
name.
recognize Jerry?
But here's the thing.
Because I know who Jerry is.
No.
But I might be disrespectful for this, but I said I bet you more people know who Sugar Ray Leonard is right now than they do know who Shawn Porter is.
And I ain't mad at that.
I ain't mad at it either. That's what I'm saying. But I mean, that show you the politics of the sport and why they would bring somebody else on these shows to help carry a legacy versus just him and Thurman.
But and this is where I'm gonna disagree. I think Shawn, at the end of his career, would be known more than Sugar Ray Leonard due to the fact that the way boxing's going, it's so globalized now, bro.
Yeah.
So he could go. I'm gonna say this.
Yes.
If I take him to Mexico, people gravitate. Right? They'll know who he is.
Yeah, and
It's just
I
where
wasn't
you
saying,
go.
I
It's
wasn't
where you
saying
go.
that Sugar Ray's.
That Sugar Ray comment. No, I'll be the first one complaining.
Yeah, and I wasn't saying that Sugar Ray's career is dead or anything like that. I don't think his legacy is dead or anything like that. I just was, but I think we finished up the argument here. This is what we do. This is what we do.
I think the Sugar Ray Leonard Duran Nomas fight is what put Sugar Ray like that goes on and on.
Yeah, man. The great movie too. That was a really good movie. Yeah, really
and
good
Duran
movie.
has to listen to that till he dies.
Yeah. But he's overcome it, man, which is cool. I know
good
for a
guy.
long time he went home and it was not good for him. So he's overcome that and he's loved by everyone around the world, just like Sugar Ray and a lot of those guys.
No, it's your boy Will. He's like, when you're ready to go, who would you fight, Pac-Man or Mayweather style? Which style would you do, like towards the end of your career?
The fight with I think a fight with Manny Pacquiao would be really entertaining from like a competitive standpoint.
Yeah.
I think the styles mesh extremely well, but I think because of the reputation, so to speak, that Mayweather has in terms of a lot of guys want to see him lose. A lot of people want to see him lose. A lot of people do want to watch him win. A lot of people want to just see how the fight goes down. And I think a lot of people would look forward to me fighting him because they know I'm going to be aggressive from the opening bell to the closing bell.
But how would be the press conference, man? I mean, are you guys ready for that? Because I mean, he'll bring the tongue, bro.
Oh yeah, no, I'm
You don't think he'll get you?
Nah, man. I tell people all the time, man, that the energy that you feed me, that's the energy that I dish back to you.
Okay,
you know?
I just want to make sure because I know he gives it, man.
Yeah.
He gives it, bro.
I got to tell y'all too, man. Fox is doing a fantastic job with boxing so far.
Yes,
they have a few shows that air on FS1 and also on Fox. Two shows, the Inside PBC Boxing that I do, but there's also another show. Have you seen the Face to Face that they do?
Yeah.
Yes, they do.
The Face to Face is awesome, so I think when Errol and I, when we do our Face to Face, I think that's gonna be something to watch.
Is it gonna be fire? Are you trying to give me something? Sean just told you guys better watch it, man.
I think you do a really good job with the PBC.
Thank you. I'm just doing the best I can.
I was gonna say he didn't only be Paulie Malignaggi, but I think he's gonna take his job. That's my opinion. What do you think?
It's honestly, it's only a matter of time before God blesses me some more with this.
Paulie, he's coming for you, man.
Yeah.
I know that, dude. I want to see Sean doing more of that, man. I love that.
I really do enjoy it. It's a lot of fun, and I get to travel, which I love to travel, So even though it's just a quick skip away to LA, I get to travel and stay in the hotel.
45 minutes
right there. Yeah. So
because
it's cool.
I saw when they asked you in front of Thurman who's gonna win, you said you picked Manny. You said it right.
I honestly I did. I picked Manny. I wasn't hating on Keith Thurman or anything like that at all. I even text Keith after his fight and I told him that I was proud of him because he did even more than I expected from him in that fight.
Do you think he was gambling? Like some reports were saying that he was
gambling.
That's just what I'm saying. That's why, and that's what I wanted you to say.
Here's the thing.
That's why I wanted to tell you because that's why. My first question was what? What do you have to say to the haters in the media? Because that's what everybody feeds off.
But here, I'm going to tell a quick truth about Keith Thurman. Keith Thurman is not like most fighters in boxing. Right. He's just a little different. He does what he wants to do, says what he wants to say. He really does move by the beat of his own drum.
Right.
So while a lot of other fighters may want to gamble, they'll say, This ain't the time.
Right.
While a lot of guys may want to gamble, they'll say, "Shh, I'm gonna go to that casino that don't nobody know me at, and I'm gonna go gamble there." You know, for him to just be out and about, he said that he was getting something to eat. I believe it, but you know, why not wait in your room for that food? You know, so
and you know how people just.
I think the story was you know.
It was
blown out of proportion.
It was blown up and blown out of proportion.
Showing pictures of him.
But however,
At
here's
3
the
o'clock.
thing.
Yeah.
I wouldn't put it past Keith because I know Keith to just do his own thing.
His own thing. Okay.
But that works for Keith.
Yeah.
Other guys may not be able to gamble all night, then get up and go fight.
Yeah.
Keith can do that, you know. So.
Yeah, there's guys that they're able to like function with 2 hours sleep.
Yeah.
There is guys.
Yeah.
I know there's other guys that can't. I have 2 more questions and then we'll move into what you're good at. All right. This is just. I'm gonna throw you 3 names. You tell me what we think about these people, okay? One, and I already think you already told us, but I'm gonna bring them up again, man. Terence Crawford. What do you have to say? What do you think about it?
Terence is one of the best in the division. He's great for boxing, and he needs more exposure.
Manny Pacquiao.
Manny Pacquiao. There's nothing that hasn't been said about Manny. I think, however, in this fight with Keith Thurman, he really we were blessed to see that. And that night, I think that he really did defy the odds. I think he proved a lot of people wrong.
I kept my beard. I bet my beard.
I
did. I
put
bet
your
my
beard
beard.
over
Yeah, I put my beard on the line, bro.
But here's what you say about Manny. If you're looking at a guy who's 40 plus years old now and still able to compete at this level in the sport that's so hard to even get prepared for, let alone compete at. There's lessons to be learned there. If you live your life the right way, if you have faith in God, if you look after your family and you do the right things in life, you're always ready for whatever obstacle that's put in front of you. You know what I mean? So I think that he defied that the other night.
I think you might want to hit this question. Do you think we ever see another athlete hit 8 divisions like Manny, or would that one?
No, we will never see that again. We'll never see that again. I'm sure Lomachenko is like maybe trying to go for it.
Oh no,
he ain't gonna make it.
Now.
Let me just give him the last name and then you go there.
Right place, right time for Manny.
Right place, right time. Right.
Just extremely blessed. Extremely blessed.
I thought he was gonna hit you with that question because I was like,
No.
I could see him coming. But the last person I'm gonna say is Errol Spence Jr.
Errol Spence Jr. is great for boxing. He will get put out September 28th, but that won't be the last of him.
All right.
Are you going for the knockout on that fight? That wasn't my question, but
I'm always going for the knockout.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about Manny Pacquiao. The last performance, do you put him in the top 10 or top 20
All time.
of all time?
He's top 10
Top 10?
all time. I mean, statistically, he's won statistically. Yeah. He's won statistically. Obviously, there's other things that kind of, there's little dirt trails that will move him up that ladder, but he's 100% in the top 10.
This is the final question.
I don't ask me to rank fighters, man.
No, I'm not gonna rank. I'm not giving you that. I'm not giving you that.
Yeah.
What I want to know is, what will the Shawn Porter legacy be?
The Shawn Porter legacy. So I've always said this, man. When I'm done boxing, or when I'm done competing, I just want everybody out there to, when they talk about me, say that guy, he did everything that he could do to be successful. He did everything he could do to entertain those watching, and he did everything he could do for his family, for his friends, and everyone that loved him. What I do is because of love, and what I do is just to motivate and inspire. I'm hoping that what I do will not inspire people and motivate people to box, but just inspire and motivate people to be better in life. You know what I mean? And that's honestly, man, that's what I'm going for, man. And I'm just blessed that God has given me the platform that I have, man. I'm just extremely blessed.
I'm gonna say the last 4 shows we've had. We didn't have a show last week, but the last 4 we had, it feels weird because every guy has been similar to you, man.
That's good.
I feel what I feel is that I think boxing is heading that way. You know what I mean? It's no longer about like, well, I want to be the best. It's like, what you're saying is the right thing. I want people to remember me because I want them to do good in life. Not just create more boxers, but just do good in life.
Yeah, I
and
think
everybody's preaching that same, and I'm like,
that's always the disconnect with professional athletes,
Yeah.
though. I think we inspire to be what we see,
right.
and I think in every sport, you take a look at any sport, the point guards are doing the things that they saw the point guards before them do. You know what I mean? And then every now and then you have one who's innovative and he comes in and he does things a different way. You know what I mean? So, excuse me, the same with every sport. So with our sport, we had a time where Mike Tyson was the meanest thing out there,
Right.
and everybody thought that you had to be the meanest thing out there. And now everybody thinks that we're the meanest guys out there. You know what I mean? And you have had recently a era where nothing mattered but money. And so now I think we're transitioning out of that phase of it being just about money to it going back to being about great fights and great exciting boxing and the art of boxing. And I think that's where it's going to go, and I think that's where it's going to stay.
I'm glad. Now I'm gonna go predictions because I want to give you those 10 minutes that you want to do.
Perfect. I think we're already over that.
Nah, don't worry, my man.
Let's get to it, though.
Let's get to it. Okay, and this is real quick predictions. I'm only gonna do 3 fights. It's one of them is the ESPN Plus, and I'm only doing the main event, which is Michael Collins versus Diego Ruiz in Belfast. What do you guys think?
Damn, you hit me with it. I know.
I had to hit you on the
Collins, but I don't know the other guy.
Yeah.
But we know it's a conventional fight for him. It's a progression, right? Fight.
Yeah.
So it's most like it,
fight.
especially at his home. So I think he's gonna get the KO.
I do too.
I do too.
Yeah.
Same here.
Same here. Kenny.
I don't know because I don't know neither one of them. I only watch Showtime. Shawn Porter watching on the 28th.
And that.
I was just getting up with that was the shot, the Shaquille O'Neal.
All right, let's get to the PBC on Fox. It's a good card,
I know
man.
these guys.
Oh, you know this guy. So let's start with the co-main event, which is Andre Berto versus Miguel Cruz. Who we got on that one?
Oh man, so
Look at this. Are you not gonna give me a prediction on that one?
I really do think. I think that this isn't. I think it's a
50-50.
I think it's a 50-50 fight.
Yeah.
How many losses does Miguel have? Just one?
I think like 3 or 2. I'll check it out.
Yeah, he doesn't have but a few losses,
Right.
but I really do think that Andre Berto's on his way out. I think that they want.
But
I think
this is good by
I don't know
fight.
how else to say it, but
This
yeah,
is
I
good.
think they want to keep him alive, but I don't know if that's gonna happen. Excuse me, I don't know if that's
You're
gonna
right.
happen.
One loss. You're right.
One loss.
Yeah, one loss. Yep.
There you
Yep.
go.
Yep.
That's what this man will be on TV.
This is what I do. Back in the building.
So on that one, who do you have?
Who do I got?
Yeah, who do you got?
In the main event?
No, not in the main event. No, Miguel or you don't want to tell me?
I'm gonna go with Berto.
You gonna go with
with the statistic. I'm gonna go with Berto.
I'm gonna go with Berto as well.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Berto.
Just because he's
How many wins does
Miguel's
Miguel have?
young, but he's not.
18.
I don't think he's.
No power?
I don't think he's
knockout?
right for this. I think.
Let me see.
Yeah, I think Andre
I want to
Berto's
be a
gonna
lone
get
wolf
this.
right now, probably.
12 knockouts out of 19 fights. Decent.
Oh, decent, huh?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with Miguel on that one. Are you gonna go Miguel too? Yeah. Oh, you gonna go?
That's his call.
You're Berto.
All right, I'm gonna go with Miguel on this one. We're gonna go with the draw here. All right, let's go to the main event. Adam, what's his last name?
Kavnatsky.
Kawanaki, right?
Kavnatsky.
Kavnatsky.
Yeah.
Versus Chris the Nightmare Ariola.
Oh my God.
Is he gonna be able to do an Andy, Chris? Because I think this is
This
also-
would be the Andy of this
Right.
of this right here.
This is a good fight.
Beginning to end, man. So I talked to Joe Grusin.
Yeah.
He's training Chris Ariola now. I didn't know that, and I believe in Joe. I think that Joe's gonna be able to get through to Chris enough to get his defense ready for this fight. Keep his hands up so that he's not taking unnecessary punches. Even we interviewed Kovnowski and he said the same thing. He said we're working on defense, and that was when I asked him what he was doing different in camp.
Right.
I'm like, really though, man. The only thing you really need to do different is work on your defense, keep your hands up, and not take so many punches. And he says he's working on the same thing, So neither of these guys are dummies,
No.
and I just think that it's gonna be a matter of who hits who first. I'm going with the young buck.
You going with?
I'm sorry, I'm going with the young buck.
Adam.
Me too. I'm
I'm going with the young buck because I've seen him take some shots, man.
I'm going by knockout too.
By knockout.
Adam, buenas para acá.
I don't know these guys. I told you.
But let me remind everybody that Chris Arreola knocked out the young guy that they just put in front of him.
That's right.
Down in Dallas.
Yeah.
So he knocked that guy out. Nobody was expecting that.
I'm gonna make it more interesting, guys. I'm gonna say it's still gonna be Adam winning, but I'm gonna say it's gonna be a split decision.
Split decision.
It's gonna go. Come on, get it out. You're not gonna go draw, dude.
And it's hard in the heavyweight division.
Yeah, I know it's hard, but I don't think.
In my heart, I really want to go with Chris.
Yeah, my heart.
I'm not going with the statistics this time. I'm going with Chris.
You going with Chris?
I'll switch that.
Oh, you switched up?
I switched that.
All right, well,
I believe. I'm going with Chris.
All right,
we're gonna go
with that. This is the hardest part of the show. You know that, right?
What's it?
I put you guys to make predictions.
I hate making predictions, man.
Because when you're wrong, you got this one wrong.
But see, but look, that's what I do. Like, and they always clown me on the show because they say off air I pick one guy, but then on air I pick another guy.
Well, you could change your mind right before the fight.
Yeah, you could. He changes his mind a lot.
So check it out. So this is the part where the Porters take over.
Right.
And y'all gonna have to let us do what we do.
Go for it.
Yeah, go ahead.
And by we, I mean my brother Kenny.
What does that mean?
My brother Kenny is a rapper.
Try to put a brother on the spot.
We got music?
I don't think we need the music.
I prefer music.
My brother is he's quite talented to say the least. He can do freestyle. He has stuff written. He's about to put some stuff on some plastic and put it out there for everybody soon. But I just want to give him an opportunity to show off.
It's up to y'all to always give people a choice they can pick. Now, obviously, if I do the written, I'm not going to fumble at all. If I do the freestyle, it's off the top of the dome, though. I don't do like everybody else is doing. So y'all watching all these people on TV all the time telling them they freestyling. You like, oh, that wasn't. They not freestyling. They wrote that down. They didn't practice it. Now they don't got to pass. So I can literally, you get to pick.
I'm picking freestyle. Wow. I'm gonna tell you, and that way y'all know it's a freestyle. Just rap about your family, rap about what we do, and then close it up.
Let's rap about Shawn Porter. They say Shawn Porter go hard like Randy Moss in the fourth quarter. You know we got that stuff for order. You don't want to get yourself caught up in the corner. But they don't want to see these bands. He gonna fold you real quick like Roberto Duran.
Yeah.
You didn't even know about that Sugar Ray Leonard. When we come through, you know we in it. When the game, we gotta spin it, gotta win it. It's a triple threat. When we come through with the Father and the Son and we connect, that's like the Holy Father. Call that Trinity. I'll be your enemy real quick. I can come through and get you like the Army, a USA. We used to rep it in the Olympics, but now we here today representing the WBC. You know the C. You don't even want to mess with the C-Town. That's Cleveland. We be down even. Y'all boys commit treason. Blowing trees in. While my boys just chilling in Hawaii for no reason. Waiting for an evening for you to show up at fight time. It's show time. It's go time. You know mine. Don't blow mine.
Yeah.
And we know he didn't write that because we were just talking about Sugar Ray.
Yeah, so here's the thing. This is what we do, man. When I get in the ring, people always ask me if I'm nervous, and I always say, why would you get nervous for something you want? You don't get nervous for something you want to do. You know, you take that nervous energy and you turn it up, and you make it what you need to get the job done. And my brother just got the job done.
What do you go by?
Can I put Shawn on the spot now?
Oh yeah, of course.
Can he bring you out next time, man?
He gonna be walking out with me. He gonna be walking out with me.
Get the mic underneath the belt while I'm holding it. I'm rapping.
There you go.
What's your rap name?
Young Preach, man.
Young Preach.
Young Preach.
I rap about spirituality. I talk about God when I rap. That's 90%. But I mean, once people start doing that, they start putting you in a box. So if a boxer can talk about God, why can't a rapper talk about God?
Exactly.
If you got a past lifestyle or you still involved with it, see what I do, I don't write lyrics about stuff that I'm not doing or stuff that I've never done. I write lyrics about stuff I've been through. So you'll hear about drugs, alcohol, suffering, people losing their family members, abortions, you name it, all the above, without it being so depression every time, but you can still get a message from the music. So one of the main focuses of what I do in my music, though, is I'm about positivity. So even if you don't consider yourself like a Christian or a gospel rapper, you can still make music with me. If you got a happy song, I mean, Tupac may keep your head up. So I like all the good music, though. I prefer to be more of a provider, but I mean, there's a lot of dark stuff out there that people do. So
yeah, that's what I was saying.
a lot. I got songs about girls that act like witches that's only out for your digits. That's another rhyme.
Hey, no, but let me ask you this: when is the album dropping? You got because he said we're putting some stuff.
My projection. Now I didn't tell you when I was turning pro, but my projection was October. So I'm trying to channel it out and speed up as fast as possible. But it's gonna be on God's clock. Right. But you will have singles within the next month and a half, 2 months, because I already have them recorded. I'm just waiting for them to be doctored.
When did you notice you had a talent for rapping? Like,
I don't know when he noticed it. I knew I had a talent for rapping when I wrote a song about a friend that passed away. His name was Shawn Blackwell. He's from Stowe, Ohio. God rest in peace. And when he passed away, I wrote a song, and me and my friends recorded it, and then I was listening to it, and this girl sitting next to me was like, "Can I hear that?" Mm-hmm. She was so nice. I was like, "Yeah, I'll let you hear it." And I just started writing. And if anybody knows about me, I'm a vibe person. I can feel stuff. So I was doing my work for once in school. And some said, "Something wrong. Look up." And I looked up and I looked over, and she was crying. And I said, if I can have that effect on people, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. And then really realized why I started rapping, though. It's because everybody used to tell me, man, the stuff you say is important. And you saved my life. You helped me. Even since I was 8, 9 years old, people would come up to me, ask me for advice with girls and stuff. I'm like, well, what's the big deal? So by the time I got like 15 and a half, 16 years old, I said, man, if I could write as good as I talk to people, I could be one of the greatest people ever doing it. And plus, I didn't sing as good as Michael Jackson. So I was like, well, I can't rap. I can't sing that good. I'll rap.
Okay, can you send us?
Oh yeah, I can definitely make sure you
and
guys
I'm gonna tell you this.
music.
I'm gonna plug it in every
with
time.
Me on my phone right now. I keep it, so I'll make sure you guys get it before I leave.
Has anybody ever told you that you remind them of the way you talk and your manners of Roy Jones?
Man, that is my favorite boxer of all time.
Doesn't it a little bit like something
that
about
is
him?
the first time. I wish I would have heard that 50 million times. I probably would have never stopped boxing. There's Muhammad Ali, then there's Roy Jones, and there's nobody else from me other than Shawn Porter. Wow.
Let me tell you guys this. Plug in your social media, since I know social media is a big thing now. Let them know your social media.
Oh man, you can look me up as Kenny Porter II, Facebook. I'll be working on the Instagram very soon because my music's coming out, so I need a bigger fan base. And then anybody that you reach on my actual account on Facebook will always plug you in back to me. They know I respond to all messages. What was you gonna say?
I said, we gonna get you on Twitter too.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't want too many accounts, man.
Hey, I like the way Sean thinks,
girls, man.
Hey, don't worry about that. Success, man.
I don't know, man.
That's Showtime, Sean P. Everything.
All right, guys.
I get people when I'm out, they be like, "Yo, Showtime, Sean P."
With that said, close us up, man, because I already know you've been throwing the signs, bro.
Yeah. See you next Monday.
Don't be doing that, bro. You're gonna kill us, bro. All right, man. Thank you very much.